film from Saturday from the offensive line. How do you feel like the way you guys played?
Well, I don't think we played, up to our standards the way that I know our O-line can be. I didn't play up to my standards. I think, we got out flat. We got off the start flat, and obviously we can't let that happen because, on any given Sunday, probably that's the same thing with college football. Any team, anytime can beat the other team, and it doesn't matter. We're 6-0 and 7-0. 6-0 and UCF, whoever their record was, they came to play, and we have to have that respect for each team that comes in, and whoever we go to. But yeah, that can't happen. And I think just coming in, on Monday or actually Sunday, and viewing the film. Guys know what they messed up on, and just. We got to have that attention to detail. We got to be disciplined. We got to have that detail. That's something that coach has been preaching all season, and really especially since the bye week. We had having that rest, and we had good practices and good meetings and whatnot. But we got to come off stronger. That's what we do with Kansas coming up.
I know it's not an excuse or anything, but you guys have had, due to injuries, so many guys rolling through the guard spot. How hard is it to be totally locked into those details and working as a unit when you've had a bunch of different combinations of the five that are out there?
Right. I just, it's something that, we have to work through, and that, we've been with one another all together at the very least since the summer. So, whether we're, exchanging guard spots, tackle spots, even center, we got to be able to work together as one. That's why we have, we go with 1, 2, and Coach B might even change it up some. But we got to be able to work with one another. Like you said, it's not an excuse, and we got to be able to figure it out. And I really think, like I said before, it's all going to come down to having the discipline and the details and being able to just trust one another that we know what to do. After coming off of practice today, look at the film, see what we did wrong, look at what we did right, and just, the bottom line, not being satisfied where we are. Because being 7-0, it's we haven't accomplished anything, and that's we're working towards the end of the season, but we got to take it one game at a time, so going on each week.
How different is Caden Green right now compared to just like last month?
Oh, I think he's really done a great job. Just being thrust, playing tackle and whatnot, and being thrust into the guard position, especially being a freshman. I think he's been doing a good job adjusting and whatnot, and of course, he's made mistakes. We've all made mistakes, but I think the big thing with him is even though he's a freshman, he's still taking it in stride. He's acting like he's a vet. He's taking the criticism, taking the coaching, but he's being coachable. He's able to ask others for help. I'm even able to ask him. So we're able to go off one another and whatnot. I think he's been doing a great job, and he's just going to keep improving. And even if we might have a bad game or bad play, he's able to come back and rebound off of that. And the same goes for everyone else on the O-line, including myself.
Seems like the running game got going a little bit more in the second half, on Saturday. Was there anything noticeable, difference? Was there a difference in maybe the way you guys were blocking, the way the running backs were running? Is there anything encouraging about, that second half?
Despite the second half, sort of a little bit of we got to get it now in terms, especially in the fourth quarter. Those two drives we had were crucial, and if we didn't get that, we don't win the game. But I think we started off flat and we got going late. We got to have the way we were in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. We got to have that throughout all four quarters. We can't come out flat. We got to come out strong, and that's testament to what we can be and more. And we got to that as our O-line and as a whole. That's what we can do on a daily basis, but we have to be able to do that all the time, and that takes toughness, work. Everyone has to be in tune to the details and being disciplined. So it's really just got going late, a little bit of desperation, but like I said, details and discipline.
Is it frustrating that you guys have shown a couple of times that you can put it all together in the fourth quarter, but it's just not quite happening for 4 quarters still?
I think it's frustrating the fact that we know what we can do, and then when we don't do it, it's like, well, they shouldn't have been that close. We should have blown these guys out, or they shouldn't even have these opportunities. Shouldn't even have the opportunity. So I think there's frustration that comes on that part, because we know we can, we know what we can do. We have the ability, the skill, all the way from running back, quarterback, receiver, tight end, O line, and then we don't do that. It's frustrating on ourselves. So I would say definitely it's definitely frustrating because I know what we can do. We just got to come out and do that every single time.
When you're working through that on the sideline during a game, you try to stay more calm so that the frustration doesn't boil over into like bad things, or is it just a more intense? Like, how do you guys work through those adjustments?
It definitely gets intense on the sideline, but it's not the fact that we're going at each other, are bringing each other down. We like to call each other up. Someone has a bad play, you take accountability, you take ownership for it. You take the coaching from your coach, and then you got to move on. But you can't just, someone just misses a bad play, you can't be like, F you, man, forget you for the rest of the game. Like, you can't have it, otherwise we're not going to do anything. We have to stay connected as a unit, as a whole. We have to stay together, and if we don't, we'll fall apart. But just being cohesive in this one unit, and even if someone messes up, we take, recognize what you did wrong, or what a group did wrong, and then move on and keep calling each other up and keep moving forward.
We got a chance to see Savion for the first time a little bit on Saturday. What have you noticed about the way that he's handled, what he's gone through since being hurt?
Right. I think he's really done a great job just persevering and just pushing through, because it's been tough. Anyone in this position, I think it was don't quote me on this, but I think the Tulsa game was the last game we really saw him, and he's been itching to get back and working hard, and staying on being disciplined, staying on his details like the rest of us. But being able to see him out there is great, and I'm glad he had the opportunity to keep showing his play, and just keep going. And I can't wait to see what he does, moving forward, especially going at it in practice. And he's someone who loves the game of football, and he goes at it with his best, and so that's what we can all feed off of in the O-line and as a team in general.
Appreciate you, Walter.